Alright, what's going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, back again here at PlayStation Source. And look, I love my DualSense, okay? I think this is a great controller. It fits good in the hand, all that great stuff. It's not like the small, crappy, 6-axis PS3 controller. It's a more refined DualShock 4, even when there is a bunch of ink on it and I have to spend a lot of time and effort with, rubbing alcohol to get ink off of it. Which, let me know, guys, do you want to hear that story? I can tell the whole story if you want. I told it on Joki's Gamescast, but let me know if you guys want to hear that whole fallout about how this DualShock had a big black ink on it, but I was able to get it off. But besides all that, okay, we are talking about the DualSense today. There's a lot of things going on about this whole controller. There's some good things and there's some bad things. I think we should first start off with the bad, then we'll end with the good, okay? So you guys saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. The DualSense is experiencing drifting problems. Now, if you don't know what stick drift is specifically, okay, it is where the analog sticks will begin to register that you are moving the stick up, down, left, or right without you doing it by itself. So it's essentially broken. This is commonly seen, of course, if you have a Switch. My Switch has done this before. I used to have the gray Joy-Cons on my launch day Switch. Wait, no, it wasn't launch day. It was Black Friday. It doesn't matter. Okay, on my first original Joy-Cons on my Switch, I did have stick drift on those, and I got a Pro controller in the meantime to kind of just because I didn't want to buy Joy-Cons because I was waiting for the best colors for those for myself, the blue and yellow colors. So I got those eventually, but in the meantime, as I was waiting for those blue and yellow Joy-Cons to come out, I did get a Pro controller, and it was kind of crappy. Stick drift is not fun. It's not cool. And there's even a video here that someone put on Twitter _@JazzyGuns. I'm gonna play it here right now for you to see in totality on what exactly stick drift is and how it's happening on the DualSense as well.
Look at this stick drift, y'all. Not even touching this.
So clearly there, that is a clear evidence that, okay, there is stick drift, and I wanted to dig even further because I really wanted to see engage, and I will be asking you guys down below in the comment section, are you experiencing DualSense stick drift, or is this a problem for you? Let me know how your experience is going with DualSense stick drift. But I perused the internet and saw a good old push square had a pull up on there, and you gotta also take into account, okay, when I read the results of this poll, okay, people that are doing this poll for pushware, right, tend to be a bit of a more hardcore demographic of PlayStation fan as opposed to the average user, right? So definitely keep that into account that these people are using their DualSenses a lot more than the average person and different stuff like that, right? So not trying to negate or belittle this little pool size here as well, because there was only about 2,000 voters as I went and got this screenshot here, but there looks to be about 20% of the voters said that they are experiencing drift problems, which I would say 100% clear indication that, yeah, okay, it's only 2,000 votes, right? So that's a very, very small pool in the millions of PS5s out there, and I bet the way more than millions of DualSenses out there as well, because I have 2 DualSenses as well. Most people have 1, but I have 2 as well. So from me personally, I have not experienced any stick drift. Knock on wood, hopefully I don't have to deal with it, because it's not fun. But definitely, 20% is a pretty substantial number that I think we will see repercussions, and we have seen repercussions as well that we will get to here in a little bit. But definitely let me know, guys, how are you feeling about this stick drift? Have you been experiencing it? Has it happened to you or a friend or whatever? Because I would like to believe that this will get addressed, and when you're an early adopter of a console, okay, you run that risk of things just not panning out, right? Things not probably happening as intended, and I'm not saying it's your fault, if you get a day one PS5. I got a day one PS5. I'm not saying it's your fault or my fault if your PS5 is defective or mine is, but nonetheless, you do run a higher risk of that, and I would like to hope that this all pans out like the DualShock 4 thumbstick debacle, where people's thumbstick materials was ripping off when they were using it a lot. I never had that issue either, but my roommate did, and I saw it firsthand as well. So it's just a thing that happens, you know. So hopefully, you know, this gets alleviated. And obviously here, I would rather have my thumbstick material wear off than my entire analog stick drift, because that sucks. But so many people have said that they think that this sucks, as they have gone on and made a class action lawsuit against Sony. Yes, it is going down. There is a complaint being filed right now. I'm gonna read a little bit of it to you. This is from Push Square, but it was reported by Games Radar. Link below in the description. It says here, quote, claims that, quote, the DualSense controller is defective because drift, quote, significantly interferes with gameplay and thus compromises the DualSense's control's core functionality. It also adds that the platform holder is aware of the issue due to, quote, online consumer complaints and through its own pre-release testing. So apparently they are saying that Sony was aware of these drift issues before the console even came out, before we even got hands on the DualSense. They reportedly knew that there were issues with drift. I don't know how they know that information. I don't know if like something, you know, they got a source or whatever, or like I don't know how they would know that Sony knew firsthand. You got to imagine that, you know, the QA has to be pretty intensive on controllers. I feel like, you know, just the overall testing and making sure that it's not going to just crumble when someone gets it, you know, firsthand. But it is pretty interesting that now there will be a class action lawsuit. I want to be following this as well. I'm very curious to see how it goes. But most importantly, guys, what do you guys think in the comments below? Are you experiencing stick drifts? Are you experiencing any problems with your DualSense controller? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But the last thing here I want to talk about is a positive about the DualSense. Yes, we have a positive story here today. That is that the back button attachment has been patented for the DualSense. Okay, so you can see some patent pictures here on screen. Essentially what it is, that is very, very similar to the DualShock 4 back button attachment, which I did do a review on. I'll put a card over here on top of the screen as well. But it is essentially the same form factor. It looks like it's something that will plug right into the controller, and it looks like you'll be able to just plug it in straight up and be able to have back button attachments. And the only thing I saw too was that the you know, DualSense seems to not have a like main port, but it does have these like bronze connectors on there. So I'm thinking maybe that's how they are going to have it clip in from the bottom, while it'll still plug into that audio jack to offer you, you know, like an audio feed to be able to use headphones and all that with your DualSense or with your PS5. It looks like these bronze controllers, I mean these like bronze connectors, will be able to transfer the data needed to the back button to be able to register as an input on the controller. And I can't wait for this, guys. It was filed back in summer of 2020 and it was officially published last week, and so it looks like there is plans for this. I don't see why they would not release this. I'm really down for this. I loved when I had my DualShock 4 back buttons. It helped me a lot in first person shooters, and it was a great thing, man. I loved it. I did a review on it. I really liked it, and I actually had to remove it off of my DualShock 4 because I was getting so used to the back buttons that I knew that the DualSense would not have them. And I didn't want to get too used to them. So hopefully we could start a whole generation with the back buttons. I would love to use them. I'm definitely gonna buy it once it gets on. And like, although the dream would be to have like a PlayStation 5 Elite controller, right? I think it is really cool that they are giving us a lot of the functionality that you would want out of an Elite controller in this low cost, you know, low footprint, if you will, attachment for your DualSense, right? So let me know, guys, would you rather have an Elite controller or this low cost option? I believe the back button attachment cost $30, I think, when it was released, which is far cheaper than a scuff controller, or, you know, even when you look at the Xbox Elite controller, that is, I think, in the upwards of like $150, I think. Don't quote me on that. I forgot how much it costs, but I know it's a lot more expensive than the average controller. So let me know, guys, what do you guys think about the DualSense drift problems? Are you having them? Are you experiencing them? Would you rather buy a PS5 Elite controller or a PS5 back button attachment? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And make sure also, while you are down there, you can check out our description where you can find links to our Discord, our Twitter, and our Anchor link. That way you can listen to our long form content and podcast format, those of course being Road 2 series and of course Save Slot podcast as well. Like the video if you enjoyed it, as well as hit subscribe to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.